Hey guys, and welcome to Pheas Airsoft, where today I'm going to disassemble this G36 or CYMA C M.011. Hey guys, and welcome back. If you do enjoy my content today or at all, please do consider liking and subscribing. It does really help me out. I've got this today, this G36 CM.011 that I'm going to do a disassembly video on. Just a few people were interested in seeing how you get the gearbox out and what the gearbox is like inside. Now this is not quite as budget as the other CYMA rifles that I've been looking at. It's about £85, but it's still pretty low cost for G36, considering my first one was a Tokyo Marui one and it was about 250 quid. Obviously a lot cheaper. So remove the mag, push the pin out, that's the hand grip pin, slide the hand grip off, obviously making sure that you've got no battery in there. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the mag well. Now on some versions this is like a screw where you push it in from one side and you have to tighten a little nut on the end there. Not on this one, it's just a push pin. I do prefer this, just being a push pin system makes it a lot easier. Just get this screwdriver in there just to help me pry it out. There we go, remove that pin. Try not to confuse the parts, just the pins. So what I did there is that only lifts up so far, and if you push the mag release forward, it releases the rest of that out there. I can see that is a clear plastic nozzle in there. Not the greatest of quality nozzles, but we'll see what else is in there. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to knock this back body pin out from this side and pull it out. That's that. I'm then going to fold the stock, and what we've got here is we've got this bolt here that needs to be removed. So I'm just going to find, might be that one. Nope. Nope. Definitely not. There we go. So that is a size 3 Allen key bolt or hex bolt, whichever you want to know them in. As a size 3. I'm just going to undo that. Only comes out so far and then unscrews. Then lift that out of the way. What you do is you get your finger on the hop and the hop pushes forward, allowing the gearbox to lift up and out. And as it's coming out, what you'll notice here is the battery connector. It's on a mini Tamiya, so if you see if I can get my finger in there, you're going to have to release that battery connector, the two Tamiya. Bear with me. There we go, that should. There we go. So, and that just lifts out. Then what we've got in here is obviously the barrel assembly that pushes in and it twists. So that was a 90-degree twist, and then it pulls out of the back. Might have to twist it back again, and then it will go all the way should come out of the back of the body. It's not actually coming out, it's not a problem, but that's how you remove the barrel. Anyway, let's just have a look down the barrel itself. So I'm just turning the hop fully on. The barrel is absolutely spotlessly clean, and I don't know if you can quite see down there, that is the hop fully turned on. That's not an awful lot of adjustment. I don't think you're going to be able to hop very heavy BBs with that. Obviously in the UK, most people tend to use 0.2s or 2.5s in AEG, so that's not a massive issue for most of us, but I know that particularly in some countries they prefer to hop heavier BBs through there, but just something to be aware of. Then we've got the gearbox, so a few things to do here. So we're just going to release this one screw off the bottom, because that just directly screws into the motor cage on the bottom of the gearbox. So this is a version 3 gearbox that we find in a G36. Similar to the AK gearbox, same type of gearbox, but slight different accessories on the outside. So next thing we're going to do is I'm just going to punch this pin out here. Pull that out. That's not got any teeth on it, doesn't matter which way around that goes. And then the gearbox, ever so steadily, if you move it to single shot, and you can gently just jimmy it out, and then we have it. Now, this bit did just jump out, it's absolutely fine. So holding the pistol grip like you would in your right hand, like that, you got a little pin poking forward there, and that just sits in there like that. So if you are reassembling it, that's how that sits back in that part of the pistol grip. So put that out of the way. So as you can see on an AK, we usually have the selector plate here like we've got, and then we have a cam that connects through from here to the other side and all sort of assembly. Instead on here, part of this work is done by these cogs inside the pistol grip that interface with, on one side with the selector plate, and on the other side with the safety, mostly just to engage the safety. Other than that, the only other difference is this little button on top here that is what we had the screw into. So we'll strip this down now and just have a look inside it. It's actually better quality plastic than I was thinking initially. It's quite thick. Usually when they use the clear plastic nozzle like that, it's not particularly good quality. So I'm just going to get this little protection bit off here, this little plastic clip. Pull that out of the way, and what that does is that just covers up that gear and stops anything getting to that gear, so you don't get your fingers damaged, gloves torn up, that kind of thing. I'll then slide the motor screws out. One screw. Oops. Apologise for this. There we go. Now, they are ever so slightly different lengths, those two screws. So the slightly longer screw went at the back, and that can make a difference because it can stop it going back in the pistol grip. So if you did need to know, the longer screw is from the back hole, and the shorter screw is from the front. So next thing we're going to do is not drop the gearbox. I'm going to just release that pin and take it out of there, and I can put the motor cage out of the way. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this top slide bit that helps crimp it all shut. It's not wanting to go. So that took a little bit of jimmying then, but we got there in the end and got it removed. And then I'm just going to use Phillips head screwdriver to remove the rest of these screws. I don't believe we need to remove this screw here, just the others. It is worth remembering where these came from specifically, because they are, I think, slightly different lengths. Take the back one out, there's just a front one to take out that requires a smaller Phillips. There's a lot of red thread lock on these, which fills out the threads on the screw and makes it a little bit tricky to get out, but it's not an issue. Now, same old trick as always, get your screwdriver ready and push it in the back as you start splitting the gearbox, just to hold down the spring and the spring guide to stop it exploding everywhere. Now, initially, that doesn't look too bad. So what I'll have a do is we'll lift this out, and there's the tappet plate, standard white plastic, nothing special but okay. You've got your air nozzle, that's quite snug on there, so that might be really good air seal. With the air nozzle on, no real air seal of which to speak. Let's try it without. Again, no real air seal. You upgrade the that looks like it's polystyrene that's found its way into the gearbox. It is. Oh no, there is actually some air seal in there. Pretty good air seal actually. It just has to sit in the right position. So actually that's fairly good. So this is the 300 FPS version, but doing about 320 out of the box. It looks like it's well shimmed as well. There's a lot of this blue grease around in there. Other than that, it actually looks a solid gearbox. It's well built. It's a relatively good quality gearbox casing. Possibly a little bit over greased on the gear set, which has spread up into the upper part of the gearbox there. But it's seems to be well lubricated. I'm quite impressed with that, especially for sort of £85. That's quite good quality, really. There's your trigger switch wiggling about. Standard trigger spring. All looks quite nice and neat. So I hope that's been helpful to you now. I am going to rebuild this in a moment. Just to note, this little spring here came off the tappet plate and hooks onto there and round this peg here. And this other little spring here is on this peg at the back, and it hooks onto the trigger switch block just there, and that spring pulls it back once you let go. So I hope that's been useful to you. Please do like and subscribe my channel, it really helps me out, and I will see you next time. Bye.